watchers, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another watch courtesy of StarKing watches. So again, the Chinese is 星皇表, literally meaning StarKing watch, and I think a sensible proper translation would be watch of the heavenly kings. So guys, without further ado, let's just open this double watch package and let you look at it. So I think I've asked for 2 watches, so they've given me this double package. Of course, they probably wouldn't give it to you unless maybe you order 2 watches. Microfiber cloth there. I haven't even properly unpacked that dress watch, but this is the watch I'm going to review today. You can see the links that I've removed inside and I've left it in the box. So let's just put that packaging aside and show you this watch proper. So guys, this is the StarKing AM0261 model. Now the description on the website is kind of amusing actually. They say sport watch, 100-meter waterproof, men's stainless steel chronograph, mechanical, fashion, whatever. There's just a mishmash of terms, right? Probably for SEO, but I'm going to call this the blue automatic dive style watch, the AM0261. This is my name for it. So MSRP on AliExpress is 180 USD, but realistically sale price is 99 USD, and that's probably going to be the price that you can get this for just about all times of the year. So showing you the case here and all that. So the movement in here is none other than the Seiko NH35A specs on the left. I'm not going to read it out. I'll just let you read it. Rated accuracy -20 to +40 that you can see there. In actual use, this has proven to be excellent. It's actually regulated to +4 seconds per day in use on my wrist day to day, and that is very good. I think they've done a very good job at the regulation here. Okay, case-wise, going through the details, 40mm classic Rolex Submariner case in 316L steel, 13.5mm stick with 20mm lug width. So absolutely classic case dimensions here, and the lug-to-lug distance between my thumbs of 48mm. Overall, it comes in at 135 grams, which is essentially identical to the Invicta Pro Diver that this homages, right? It's actually tempting to think that this comes from exactly the same factory, but I'll show you a side-by-side in a little while. Finishing wise, right, if you can look at the lug there, it's actually circular brushing along the top surface. It transitions, of course, to a polished side, right? That's really what it would do if you're copying the Invicta. And then on the bottom surfaces also, if you can see the bottom surface of the lugs, as well as that screw-in case back, is all polished, okay? Polished on the bottom and the sides there, with that screw-in display back showing that Seiko movement and the signed crown. And I'll just show you that crown. It's actually properly signed. It's not just etched. There's actually a proud signage there of the StarKing logo. The overall water rating of this watch is 100 meters. So, kind of less than a proper dive rating. For proper dive rating, you kind of need to go for 150 meters, but this is 100 meters. I think if they kind of improve the gaskets and the sealing, you probably could easily do 200 plus with the case quality that they have here, but they probably do need to do some better QC if they wanted to go for that. So looking at the dial now, okay, you can see there's obviously a very sunburst pattern there on that blue dial, this kind of deep blue dial with printed details, right? StarKing, that water resistant, automatic, and the chapter ring all printed, but it does have those applied markers, right? And the applied markers do have that gold tone on that steel as well, in matching the overall theme of the watch here. Okay, and the gold tone extends to the bezel, of course, and the bracelet with this kind of blue gold Invicta homage type of theme. The lume on the hands, right, the central seconds, minute and hour hands, as well as the hour markers, is a fairly standard lume. They haven't actually stated exactly what it is, so I assume it's not going to be Lumi Bright or Super Luminova. It's going to be some standard lume that you can get off market. It certainly doesn't perform fantastically. I'll put a lume shot here of how it looks like in the dark, but it doesn't tend to last all the way through the night in the experience that I have. I don't charge it up super brightly in the evenings. With a Seiko, it would last through the night. This one doesn't tend to. Okay, showing you the bezel then. Okay, 20 clicks, so 120 click unidirectional blue and gold tone steel bezel, and I think the insert presumably is steel. They haven't said any specific details about it, but you can see it's gold toned with blue as well, and they've done it in a way that is not bad at all. I think, you know, this finishing, this obviously is just a PVD finishing. It's not going to be anything more than that, but you know, the appearance is actually pretty good. It's a pretty good looker, I think, with this bezel, this copy of the Invicta. All right, the crystal is a flat crystal with a, you know, the Cyclops magnifier. Right, that's again very much a copy of Invicta slash Rolex. But overall information is very contradictory on the website. Now, the website also sometimes said that there's a Miyota movement. This one definitely is not a Miyota. That's a Seiko NH35 in there. The glass, they say it's either sapphire or another listing said hardlex. So who knows what it actually is. I've got a tester on the way, and if I get the chance to test it before I publish this, I will put the information on the bottom here as to what exactly the results show this glass is. So it's either sapphire or mineral. I assume it's mineral at this price range. It would be fantastic if they manage to sneak in a sapphire here. All right, moving on to the bracelet then. All right, brushed on the top, and the brushing is not fantastic. It's actually quite uneven, and probably the camera, you can already see that there's an unevenness on the finishing there. The gold finishing is not bad in the central links there. So kind of this classic polished central oyster style with brushed on the side and polished on the side surface here is only a push pin with hollow end links. Okay, nothing more than that at this particular price range for this watch. The clasp, again, not surprising. It's completely pressed metal. With a pressed metal keeper. Okay, they're not going to expect much more than that at this price range. Sometimes you get a little bit more solid arms, but don't be too surprised if you get a clasp like this at this price. Right? No dive extension, but it does have 4 micro adjustment points there. Right, let's just show this on the wrist now, and with the bracelet you can do it very quickly, which is why partly I like bracelets so much. So there we go, 40 millimeters with 48 millimeter lug to lug width or distance on my 17 centimeter wrist, and you know, I think very classical sizing, isn't it? It's not going to be big for most people. It's going to be very good and classic sizing for most people. All right, I just want to do a quick side by side. So what I have here is the watch it homages. This is the Invicta 8928 OB, which I reviewed quite a while back, but you can see how much it takes. You know, of course, Invicta takes from Rolex. I like to think that StarKing probably took from Invicta, you know, the first Invicta homage, if you will. You know, if they in fact went for that, you know, let me know what you think. But look at it side by side. In fact, when I first got the StarKing in hand, I thought, gosh, they got the same factory, but it's slightly different. Okay, the lug dimensions and shape are slightly different. The bracelets, again, slightly different in dimensions. The dial, obviously very different, right? I mean, the actual proportions and brightness. This one just comes across as slightly brighter overall. The bezel dimension is slightly different, and the bezel finishing. Let's have a look at the case back. Case back looks very close. Of course, it's also the same movement in both of these watches. So that's actually very similar. The clasps, actually, at first I thought that they're actually going to be the same, but actually they're slightly different. You know, if you look at the dimensions of the keeper position there, look at the shape at the side, right? They're not exactly the same actually. So maybe they do come from different places, but gosh, how much closer can you get? I'm going to do a side-by-side video of these in another time and show you, you know, more of the precise differences, I think. So that was the Invicta 8928. So guys, that's the StarKing AM0261. What do I like about this? Well, it's got the stolen classic good looks, doesn't it? It is a very good looking watch. You know, I'm a sucker for the blue, silver and gold combination, and this is precisely that, and it's such a good looker on the wrist, right? The polished gold tone with the brush steel, it's a good combination, and it's, you know, like the Invicta, it is surprisingly well engineered. This case is not a bad case at all. It feels pretty well engineered. The bezel is every bit as good as Invicta. No, it's not as good as higher end watches, right? A $500 watch, but at this price range, it kind of matches a lot of what I've seen, that you can get at this $99 type of price range. Now, the bracelet, of course, is a little bit under par, right? It's got that hollow end links, but what do you expect? For $99, you're getting great pricing at effectively a beta type of range. It's got that Seiko movement that you can, not hesitate to regulate yourself, and I would if I needed to. And it's probably a reliable waterproof case at this type of price. And I feel that given the solidity of it, they could have gone for a high water rating, but maybe that would have costed more. Right, what are the weaknesses of this particular watch? Well, one thing is, just like the Invicta, they've gone for the brand emblazoned on the side. Why would you do that? That is really a big negative there. I preferred if they don't do that, as if you need to announce that you're wearing this particular brand. So that's a negative. Bracelet finishing, again, I've said it's actually quite poor. You can see the unevenness there, quite different from the finishing on the case, which is actually better. So bracelet is a negative. And then the lume is not great, right? It's actually relatively poor. I think that could have been better, but that's what they've given. And of course, if you're going to wear an Invicta Homage or a Rolex Homage, maybe Invicta Pro Diver Homage, I like to call this, you might be a snob target, just like you might be if you wore an Invicta, instead of the real thing. So there you go, guys. Those are my thoughts on this watch, which is clearly an homage watch, so not for everyone. Let me know what you think about this StarKing watch or other watches of this company if you have them. Really keen on your thoughts and your experiences with StarKing watches. So guys, if you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. New content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys again next time.